It's going to move us to what we said is, one of the best divisions last week. Probably, I put him in that 2, maybe the 1 category, but I got him at the 2 category.
Before we get into the AFC East, I'm going to just say this division surprised me.
This division surprised you?
It did, yeah. When I was going over it, looking at schedules, the rosters and things that went on, I'm going to just say it surprised me.
All right, well, number 4, I got it starting with, the team that dominated this division for so long, and it's the New England Patriots, man. I got them coming in 7-10, still, decently solid, man. They're going to compete. It's a Bill Belichick coach team. I really like, their first-round draft pick and Christian Gonzalez that they got. It was later in the first round. Good values, got good size on the outside. They go ahead and get Mike Gesicki, head scratcher considering I think they still have Hunter Henry, right?
Yeah, and don't they still, is Jonnu Smith still there?
I think Jonnu Smith is finally gone.
Oh, he left? Okay.
But they did sign Jabril Peppers, and a name that only maybe me and you know is Mac Wilson. They also signed him at the linebacker
Mac Wilson's
position.
there? Shout out Mac, man.
Yeah, shout out Mac, man. Former Brown. But
are you not going to talk about their biggest pickup during the offseason?
What, the Patriots?
Yeah, Juju.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, bro. You got Mac Jones throwing the ball to Juju, who, he had a decently good year over there in Kansas City.
Well, he was playing with Patrick Mahomes, arguably, the greatest talent we've ever seen at the quarterback position.
I'll go far as you write him down in history as the greatest, but yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah. Juju, I don't even know how old he is.
Put me out there with Mahomes. I can get in the end zone, bro. Like, come on.
I don't know, man. 1-on-1, you against Bradbury, who's winning?
He'll probably win, but I mean, listen, if it's like a game, game form or whatever, bro, Andy Reid can scheme me open, bro, and Patrick Mahomes can get me a ball. That's all I gotta do is catch it, bro.
They put you on that little KT play, huh?
Bro, in the red zone, like on the goal line, bro, you could probably score, bro. Bro, at fullback, just slip out into the flat or something like that, hide behind the O-line.
Yeah,
last second.
The round of Rosie play that they run in Kansas City.
Yeah. All you gotta do is just catch the ball and fall to the ground, bro. You'll be fine. I'm
spamming that X button.
On the 1 yard line, you'd definitely be able to get it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But Juju, I mean, come on. They didn't want to pay D-Hop. They go ahead and get Juju. They've never paid a wide receiver in history, even when they had one of the greatest players of all time in Tom Brady. They still didn't. Bill Belichick still didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't know if his head's stuck in 1999 right now or what, but some help is better than no help in Juju. Is he still a wide receiver 1 at this point in his career? That's going to be a true test right here.
Was he ever a wide receiver 1 at any point in his career?
I mean, in Pittsburgh, he was a wide receiver 1 for a little.
His best season was when he was playing behind AB.
Yeah. But, I mean, AB was a little banged up. And the next year it wasn't his best year, but it was still a good year. I think he might have had a plus 1,000 yards regardless.
Maybe.
But he was looked at as a, top wide receiver, at least within the Pittsburgh organization at the time. So you bring him in 7-10. You got Ramondre Stevenson, great running back. Can really control the tempo. Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi. We went through that QB situation last year. It's Bill Belichick coach team, so they're going to win some games. But they're also just not as good as other teams in this division. I think that's going to lose them more games than they do win. 7-10, 4th place, tough division. I think 7 wins is low-key generous for him right now.
Well, looks like you've been stealing my notes, bro. So I got the Patriots at 7-10 as well. We've been every team but the Giants. We've been pretty much identical, yeah. So I mean, like you said, you pretty much covered all of it, man. And I think, the main thing for me is in a division where every other team seems to be, going out and actively getting better, the Patriots are, either staying the same or getting worse and not really bringing in any true help for Mac Jones. Had a solid rookie year, A lot of people were saying, is he the best quarterback in that draft class? Comparing him, saying he was up there with Burrow or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just, I mean, at least he finally has an offensive coordinator now. Last year was crazy. Reports saying Mac Jones going outside of the building looking for help. I mean, reports that this season Bill Belichick will be on the hot seat depending on how it goes. His job might be in jeopardy. I don't know how true I think that is, but hey, Robert Kraft, doesn't have any, all the time in the world, so they want to win now. But like you mentioned, I think the defense won't be an issue. They'll always be a solid unit under Bill Belichick. It's just the offense that worries me, the lack of talent on the offensive side, no real weapons. Run game is going to be solid like it always is, but, I mean, outside of Ramondre Stevenson, you lost Harris to a division rival. So not too sure how that run game will look for them, but like you mentioned, bro, Tom Brady's not there to carry this mediocre team anymore. So, 7-10 is where I have the Patriots, and I also do agree it's on the generous side.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. Just flashback to last year. I think 7-10. If what's his name doesn't throw that lateral and Mac Jones isn't making a tackle on the ground. Yeah, classic Patricia play to end the game. Just that sums up what Patricia they had
was the
at the OC.
Yeah. Joe Judge. It's what's his name? The OC now, bro. He was the coach at Texas. He coached the Texans. He traded DeAndre Hopkins. He was just at Alabama. He came back. It's a big name. I forgot.
Kevin.
No.
It's the dude with no chin, bro.
No, with like the big butt chin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot. I can't think of his name right now. I had it, bro. Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien.
That was close. But yeah, Pat's number 4. The number 3.
This is where it gets interesting, man. I want to see what you say.
So you said I went with bias last week, obviously with the Browns.
So you got the Dolphins at 3rd?
No, not yet, not yet. I just want to say, man, this is no bias. I'm leaving bias out of it. I'm just as much as a Fins fan, if not a Browns. So,
okay.
But number 3, I got the New York Jets coming in at 3rd place, 9-7 record.
Mm-hmm.
Quinnen Williams, he gets an extension. I think it's the first Jets draft pick since whatever to get a contract extended and actually play after his rookie contract in the Jets organization. They bring in Billy Turner, former first-round pick, and Solomon Thomas. They bring in Alan Lazard, Aaron Rodgers' favorite weapon over there in Green Bay past couple of years. They bring in McCole Hardman, speed guy, played a lot of time in Kansas City, showed flashes, nothing really other than, made a couple flashy plays, speed on the outside, maybe a return guy for him as well, gadget player. They signed Adrian Amos, too, on the defensive side of the ball. But they do have, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, 2 top young talents, man, on the outside. Aaron Rodgers now at quarterback. The question of, his character, his leadership, I think is now on the brightest spotlight of all time because you have all these young guys, that probably watched Aaron Rodgers growing up as one of, another Garrett Wilson catching balls from him, Sauce Gardner going against him in practice. They probably want him to be a leader now. It's time to see if Aaron Rodgers could step up and lead, maybe not in a vocal way, but at least be a leader on the field that has always been in question in Green Bay. I think he'll have a decent year. He's getting up there in age. Last year, we saw him have chances to win games, even in years past against the Niners in the playoffs. Couldn't get a touchdown against that. Niners defense is tough, but Aaron Rodgers, one of the greats. You got to be great in big moments. I got him at 9-7. That defense, very good.
9-8, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I'm tripping. 9-8, my bad.
Yeah, just one extra game.
9-8, but Garrett Wilson, look for him 1,000 yards. I just at this point in Rodgers' career, he restructured his contract today as well, but I'm just not buying it right now.
Well, this is where our first, I think true disagreement will come, and it'll the division will shake up. But coming at number 3, I have the Buffalo Bills, man. I got the Buffalo Bills finishing in third place. Shout out to Uncle Terrence. I know he's going to be listening to this, and I know I'm going to get a phone call as soon as after he watched this, and he's going to be talking about me. Oh, why you got the Bills so low, this and that. I already know. But listen, I think the Bills are a good team. I think they're going to be close with the Jets. You know, I believe Josh Allen will continue to be a top quarterback in the NFL. The only real issue I have with this Bills team is I think this offense at time can be too Josh Allen centric. Now, we saw that kind of last year, you know, against the Miami Dolphins, that game in Miami where he was banged up and couldn't even throw the ball because his elbow, just too much usage. And I think it'll be another season where Josh Allen has to carry and put this team on his back. I mean, the weapons kind of worry me outside of Stephon Diggs. And, you know, even Stephon Diggs is coming with some concerns now. We saw him holding out, you know, kind of upset with his usage where he's getting, you know, the top targets in the league. Not sure what's going on there. But, I mean, Gabe Davis, you know, little
UCF legend.
Yeah, UCF legend. I mean, he's a solid number 2. But really no run game. You know, the unfortunate, you know, story with Nyheim Hines and what happened there. Hopefully James Cook can step up and, you know, take that role. The defense, Trey White, hopefully he can come back fully healthy to his full form. Kair Elam out of Florida, rookie last year, he showed some flashes on the defensive side. They keep both safeties, which I think is big because I think there was some talk about, you know, them possibly splitting up. But, I mean, aging Von Miller on the defensive line, how healthy is he going to be? I do think the Bills are going to be a really good team. AFC's tough. We mentioned, I think they also play, you know, the NFC East, so it'll be a kind of tough schedule. But the Bills are a good team. I think they'll be a solid team. The big difference for me is I think, you know, the other two teams we haven't mentioned yet are, you know, either just now entering their contending window or in the middle of their contending window, where I believe the Bills are kind of on the back end. I think, you know, that year when, 2020 or 2021 when they played the Chiefs and had the game won with 13 seconds left, and then last year losing to the Bengals at home, which was kind of tough. I think those were kind of, you know, going to be some of their best opportunities where they had, you know, the team that could have won it all. But I think they still have a chance to contend. I think they're still going to be a good team, but I just do think the two teams above them have gotten better during the offseason.
So the number 2 spot, or that was your number 3. So number 2 spot for me, you know, I looked at it and I was kind of going back and forth because you mentioned the Bills, the Josh Allen centric. I'm not really, you know, buying it.
And the O-line's kind of shaky too.
No, that is their biggest weakness. I mean, I always talk about it. One of my coworkers, big Bills fan, I always get my info from him. I mean, he's up to the minute with this team. But, you know, you mentioned the Diggs situation, a little bit shaky. James Cook now finally, you know, launched into a bigger role probably as a, you know, running back and a dual threat. He can catch it out the backfield. I think he's, you know, one of the bright young talents in the NFL when it comes to that position.
Yeah.
You mentioned Damian Harris. He's over there in Buffalo now, a guy that's established. We know he can run the ball, split carries last year. But before that, I mean, he was RB1 in New England and looked at as a top 50, maybe top 20 back. I mean,
he was a good running back.
Yeah, very solid. They get another veteran in Latavius Murray, who's bounced around, but he's always provided, you know solid play from Latavius. I mean, you got Dawson Knox still over there. They draft Kincaid, at tight end.
Solid,
and address the O-line issues. They bring in Osiris Torrance from Florida. Brandon Shell, free agent tackle. He's bounced around, but he's stepped into starting roles before. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, Deion Dawkins probably healthy now. Greg Rousseau, another year under his belt, coming back better. You mentioned the Von Miller situation. If he stays healthy, he'll probably still be dangerous for double-digit sacks. And then, you know, the Poyer and Micah Hyde situation, both of them staying there, huge for the Bills. Those are the two leaders, signal callers on their defensive side of the ball, especially with Edmonds gone at the, you know, linebacker position. They still got Leonard Floyd, Matt Milano, who I think, one of the most underrated linebackers.
Milano's a really good linebacker, yeah.
But, it's crazy. I was talking about him the whole time. I got the Bills number 1. So they're not at the 2. I got them at the number 1. I went a little backwards here. But 12-5, I got the Bills. And I also still got Jordan Phillips. I think he's hurt along with Shaq Lawson. But I got him number 1, 12-5.
Oh, you have the Bills winning the division?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I just followed it up since you were talking about it.
Yeah.
See, I told you, man, I was going back and forth with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bills get it, man, late in the season. We know how Buffalo gets. Tough place to play. They might get a couple snow games, and I think that's why they brought in those veteran running backs and Harris, Latavius Murray. I think they finally lean to that run game. I think they have to take that pressure off Josh Allen. And it's either now or never when it comes to that. McDermott's in the hot seat. The whole coaching staff in the hot seat in Buffalo right now.
They are, yeah.
So it's a make-or-break year for them. I think if they don't win the division and make the playoffs, I mean, they could squeak in with a wild card possibly, but winning the division, I think is huge for the Bills this year. And guys' jobs are on the line. I think they got to make the right play calls and not let Josh Allen drop back 50 times, in 10 regular season games.
And run the ball.
Yeah, run the ball
10 times with Josh Allen. Yeah,
exactly. So I got him at the 1 spot. You could go ahead with your 2.
All right, so at number 2, I have the New York Jets. So, I mean,
let me hear it, man.
This offseason, man, if you've been keeping up with football at all, like 70% of the coverage in the media and just everything surrounding football has been coming out of New York and has been about the Jets. So I've had a few months and I've been getting New York Jets propaganda shoved down my throat. And I mean, after hearing so much about it, I'm buying it, man. They kept selling me the product so much, I finally buy it, man. All right. I'm buying the Jets hype. You add Aaron Rodgers to this young, very talented roster, and I think they're going to be a competitive team. I looked at their schedule. The first 6 or few games is going to be tough. If they can, come out of week 6 with 2 or 3 wins after their bye week, their season, the schedule is a lot smoother. And I just think they can get hot at the right time. You want to start winning games towards the end of the year. That's when you want to get hot. That's when you want things to start clicking, and I think that'll happen. Going along with all this Jets propaganda, the person outside of Aaron Rodgers you've been seeing the most is Garrett Wilson. I mean, today, the first day of training camp, I've seen, besides Calvin Ridley, who I saw a few insane clips of, Garrett Wilson, he's been making these insane catches at OTAs. Aaron Rodgers dropping the ball on the money. And then if it's not Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson making the craziest plays and looking like the best duo, it's Sauce Gardner breaking up a pass from the best duo in the league, and he's looking even better. So, I mean, it's all there. I think Garrett Wilson, like you mentioned, he's been shown out. He'll have a very, very good year. Aaron Rodgers is going to be, running with comfortable players that he's been with his entire career. In Green Bay, brought over a lot of those same guys in Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, and he'll be running the same scheme. Nat Hackett, he's the offensive coordinator, and you know what he's doing, letting Rodgers do whatever he wants. So there should be no unfamiliarity for Aaron Rodgers in this offense. It'll be exactly what he wants. And I think, the bright side, I just said all that about the offense, but I think the brightest spot of this team is going to be their defense. Sauce Gardner, after an outstanding rookie season, arguably one of the best corners in the league already. Him and DJ Reed make for one of the best quarterback duos in football. A very deep and talented defensive line led by Quentin Williams, who just got paid this offseason. They bring in their first-round pick, McDonald. A lot of talent on that D-line. It'll be a fun team to follow this season. They're going to be on Hard Knocks. The New York media is going to blow it out of proportion. It's going to be a fun team to follow around this season. And shout out my boy Marquise, Mr. Change of Possession. He's on the Jets too. Little UDFA. I think he has a decent shot at making the team. Atlantic legend.
Delray Beach product, man.
Shout out Waters, man.
Hey, real ones know, man. district playoffs, bro, against Jerry Jeudy. Had him on lock at corner, bro.
Had Jerry Jeudy.
You know what Jeudy could do in the league, man, but he had him on locks, bro.
No, yeah. Shout out Marquise, man. Great dude. Wishing out for the best for him. I think he has a solid chance to, make this roster. But overall, the Jets are just a super fun team. They're going to be, really competitive. And, I mean, this is a team that they had, 6-7 wins last year. Zach Wilson and that quarterback play just drops off of a cliff. And they're still fighting for a playoff spot down the end of the season. You bring in Aaron Rodgers, who's one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, throws one of the prettiest balls in NFL history, has the MVPs, has been to a Super Bowl, knows what it takes to win in this league. I don't think he needs to be back at MVP level with the talent around this roster. If Aaron Rodgers can just be a top 15, top 12 quarterback, give them some sense of stability that they couldn't get from the 4 quarterbacks they threw out last year, I think the Jets will be in a very good spot. I think they'll be a competitive team, and I got them coming in at 11-6.
Do you want to just go ahead with your, well, they're my number 2 team, but do you want to go ahead as a...
Yeah. I got the Dolphins winning the AFC East, man. You know me, fam.
What's the record looking like?
I got them at 12-5.
Okay. I mean, I got them as the same record as the Bills, but 12-5 too, but...
Listen, bro, you know me. I'm a hater, fam. I came into this looking for a way to put the Patriots over the Dolphins, all right? I'm like, Bill Belichick, he's going to find a way to do it. The Dolphins aren't going to win. But, I mean, the talent on this team is just undeniable, bro. And really the only real question mark on this team is Tua's health. And it's a big question mark. It's a real question mark. The concussions were definitely an issue. But, I mean, outside of Tua, elite weapons, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, no one's catching those guys. McDaniels, his scheme, guys are going to be open. Running back room, a lot of young talent, still got Mostert, but, I mean, they're going to scheme open runs. There's going to be no issues down there. And they just have big players all over the defense as well. Vic Fangio, new DC, brings over that highly coveted scheme, who's been, known for stopping all these high-powered offenses. You bring in Jalen Ramsey, have him playing opposite of X, like the Jets, is one of the best cornerback duos in the league. Javon Holland, another year under his belt, really, really good young safety. And then Jalen Phillips, maybe my favorite player on this defense, very young, athletic, super, super juice pass rusher, and Bradley Chubb still on the other side. So, I mean, there's talent all over this roster. The coaching is going to be good. Everything is going to be there. Just Tua's going to be healthy. And if Tua is healthy, you have an above average quarterback with an elite roster, and that makes for success in the NFL.
Yeah, man. I got him number 2, same record as the Bills, 12-5. Matchup, tiebreaker, go down however you want. But, I mean, you mentioned it. I just think there's going to be a point where, maybe we see early signs, slow start for the Dolphins, just kind of Tua getting back, finally under center in a, packed stadium. I know there's a preseason and all that, but, just get a minute. New D coordinator, you mentioned Vic on the defensive side. This team, I mean, Christian Wilkins finally getting the love he deserves.
I forgot to mention Christian Wilkins. Yeah, solid. Yeah, the anchor of that D-line.
Yep, yeah. I mean, just absolutely clogs, the middle. Raekwon Davis had a solid year at the tackle position. And you mentioned Jalen Phillips. I think he was, leading the league in, pressures. He's just hasn't been able to bring the quarterback down, but I mean, if you watched most Dolphins games, you'd see Jalen Phillips beating the tackle.
He jumps off the screen.
Getting off that line, and he's forcing, the quarterback to step up, make a read, force pressure on him. And I think another year under his belt, he's finally going to get, maybe not overcommit so much, because that was his problem, just overcommitting on the quarterback. And, one step and he moves. But Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Ogbah's still there. He's a double-digit sack guy. Bradley Chubb, you mentioned.
I forgot to mention your boy, the playmaker.
Jerome Baker, the playmaker at linebacker, had a bit of a down year last year. hoping he could get back to, pre-contract Jerome Baker where before he got that contract, I mean, flying over the field, making plays, one of the fastest linebackers in the league. And, I mean, the secondary, I don't even got to question it. I mean, you got Jalen Ramsey. He's been a top corner in this league for so long. Xavier Howard. People say he might have a drop-off last year. He was playing cover 0 against Josh Allen and the Bills every game. And in the playoffs, forcing an interception. I mean, yeah, this is a guy that he's never been able to run fast, bro, but at the corner
technique,
position,
the skill is all there. Yeah,
fight with your hands at the line. He knows what he's doing on the outside. And person to watch, Kader Kohu, man, he made big plays last year. He's gonna be, the rotation guy, the third corner right now with Nick Needham still out.
Yeah, Nick's still out.
Probably gonna come back at some point during the season. He was a top slot corner. I mean, I have no questions with the defensive side of the ball. Finally get a D coordinator that could help call plays and switch it up. And I think that's going to be huge for him.
Not even just call plays and switch it up. This is one of the top premier defensive coordinators. His scheme is what everyone's trying to copy right now. He's the one. Like, if you need a D coordinator, this is who you want.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned offensive side of the ball. You got 2 top receivers in the league. I mean, Tyreek Hill, arguably one of the best, if not, the best, you could argue. Mm-hmm. You got Jalen Waddle. You got your boy Chosen over here in Miami.
Chosen, how did I forget that, man? Shout out Chosen. That's a fucking track team, bro.
Bro, this is literally, when you build a Madden franchise, this is your receiving core right here, bro. This is what he builds, bro.
90+ speed across the board, bro.
Can the O-line stay healthy for Tua? That's a big question mark. Armstead, health issues, they got Austin Jackson on the right side. Can he? Rob Hunt at the guard, he's been, a little shaky. You got Eichenberg at the left guard, solid. That O-line's what I'm worried about. They don't really utilize their tight ends. Gesicki walked. They still got Smythe. Not worried about that. Running back room, I think, is solid. Health questions with there, but they draft Devon.
Right?
Yeah, Achen.
Fastest, more speed.
Just more speed. And then they bring in, the Jets backup QB as well. You forgot Mike White.
Man, hometown hero.
Struggling quarterbacks last year. And they still have Cedric Wilson, signed Braxton Berrios too. But I just think
solid names.
A little early season struggle. Maybe Tua misses a game with an ankle injury, not a concussion. Obviously hoping for his best. But at some point he is going to get a little banged up. Just natural football injuries. He bulked up. He got the full tap, man. So you
spent some of his VC.
Yeah, them boys better watch out, man. Tua looking a little big out there. I mean, I'm excited to watch this team so much. It hasn't been this roster hasn't been this good in
like our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, back then it was just Jarvis Landry fighting for his life every game. Adam Gase offense and Jay Ajayi running.
Being from South Florida, like, I know the Eagles are my team, but like the Dolphins is the team I remember like watching the earliest, just because my dad and everyone was a Dolphins fan. So like, from as long as I can remember, this is definitely like the best the Dolphins has been. My 23 years of living, Dolphins are definitely the best. But what you mentioned was kind of interesting to me was you thought Tua and the Miami offense can get off to a slow start.
No, I don't think
Tua, you said. Tua gets off.
I just think the team. Tua.
If he gets off to a slow start, then the offense is gonna, because he's the quarterback. So
yeah,
I get what you're saying, but to me, it was kind of the opposite, man. I feel like with this scheme that McDaniels runs, and the weapons and the talent he has around him, I would
scheme it up.
I would feel like if anything, he would get off to a hotter start, and then maybe towards the end of the year with injuries and if he does cool down, which I don't think. It would be then, but coming out of the gate, out of training camp, you get all of those reps. You have Tyreek Hill, like you mentioned, Chosen Anderson coming over from when he had, competent quarterback play. He's been a solid receiver. Jalen Waddle, who, listen, I have Devontae Smith on my team, and I might argue is the best number 2 receiver in the league. So I don't think it'll be a slow start for Tua. I think if anything, they will come out hot just because of how easy McDaniels and these weapons can make it for Tua. And literally all he has to do is just be a game manager.
I'm not going to lie. First off, I forgot to mention Javon Holland. He's personally my favorite player on the defensive side of the ball. Love 8 back there, man. Rocks that number well. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You might just the Dolphins might finish with 13 wins. Now you give me a little excited and everything. Just realistic. Obviously, there's a shot they could, but I mean, you're certainly getting me hyped up. And you did have a good point with McDaniel firing early. I kind of see your vision where you're going with that. You kind of convinced me on that end. But I do think they're going to struggle at some point in this year, kind of just like growing pain. Obviously, it's the second year with these guys. But
and like I mentioned, I think Dolphins are one of these teams, they're entering their contending window. I think they're contenders right now, but I think this is just the beginning. I think they're closer towards, the middle of their contending window than the Jets, who just brought over Aaron Rodgers. But
no doubt,
I do, like you said, there is going to still be, there might be a few growing pains, and I think we got them losing 5 games, so it's not like they'll be undefeated or anything. So, but I mean,
only team to do it. Only team to do it. Shout out Shula.
Oh, as many times as you go to that stadium, you have to hear that song. But anyways,
Miami Dolphins.
Where everyone, all Dolphins fans and old heads just live off of that undefeated record, bro. Like that's literally
I don't even live off it, bro.
That's literally all my dad cares about, bro. He's like, as soon as he's like, this is the only thing he asks me. He's like, who's still undefeated in the league, bro?
I'm not gonna lie, Dolphins fans were dumb happy when Brady lost that Super Bowl, bro.
What, bro? I'm like, there's no more undefeated teams. He's like, all right, yes, Dolphins still hold that record. Dolphins still hold that record. I'm like, come on, bro, give it up.
Gotta shout out the OGs, man. They know what they talking about.
So long ago, but yeah, I think I like this Dolphins team, man.
And shout out your boy Duke Riley too, man.
Never mind, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, shout out Duke Riley, man. For reasons other than football,
yeah.
Just say that.
Shout out you little baddie. Yeah, I mean, you kind of got me ramped up, bro. I'm ready to kick off right now, man. Is there a Wednesday night game going on? Oh, we finally get to see the Friday night, the Black Friday game, man. Is coming, isn't it, this year?
I was looking at like this schedule, and then I also want to mention, a kind of an interesting part of the Dolphins schedule. You know who they play week 1?
No.
They play the Chargers. And
Herbert versus Tua.
And last year, the Chargers was that game where, Tua had his worst game, and they shut down the Miami offense.
Yep.
And Brandon Staley, came out with a good scheme. So looking at that, I was like, I think the Dolphins, I think they're going to beat the Chargers week 1. And I think, McDaniel is definitely going to try to, kind of coach off of that game and kind of throw, a little wrench at the Chargers. And I think that's going to be a statement game. Like, oh, this is the team that kind of, figured us out last year and kind of, made us play our worst game and made everyone, not believe in us anymore. Like, well, we're going to come out the gate and we're going to beat the team that kind of, made us look bad and kind of figured us out. So I would expect, Tua and McDaniels in the offense to come out. They got the entire offseason to prepare for this week 1 game. So I'd expect them to come out hot. That's why when you said Tua might start a little slow, I was like, I kind of thought the opposite just because of that mentality and stuff. But
my question for you is, I forgot the Dolphins playing overseas against the Chiefs. I wanted it to be Arrowhead, so Tyreek comes back.
That's what you mentioned, the
Black
Friday game. Yeah, bro. Looking at all of these schedules and like trying to like predict the records and stuff, bro. There's just so many like random ass times. I'm looking, I'm like, bro, 9:30
a.m.
I'm like,
against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is the overseas game. And I'm looking at this and like Friday. Like this team's they're playing on Friday, like the Saturday games, like. They have games like every single day of the week now. It's crazy, bro.
NFL money grabs. Who wins October 22nd? Dolphins Eagles in Philly.
In Philly, come on now.
All right, I just want to see where your head's at with that, bro. Cause I don't know, man.
In Philly, I'm taking.
Any last, thoughts, concerns, comments?
Oh man, this might be the best, the divisions we cover, the East and the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the Dolphins, man. I'm high on the Dolphins this year.
Next week, West?
We can do the West.
Yeah. I mean, the West, has more bright spots than that. We're going to call them the Dirty South this year. I mean, even the AFC South, NFC South, it's It's a little shaky. It's up for grabs, though. For sure, no doubt.
For how much, though? Who knows?
Playoff spot's a playoff spot. All you got to do is win. That's Eli, bro. Playoff spot, a playoff spot.
Bryce Young. Getting to the playoffs as a rookie.
It'd be fun to watch, man, no doubt. But episode 49, man, you heard it here. Dolphins win the East. Eagles.
Yeah.
Lock it up, man. Put in your little future prediction parlays.
But I mean, bro, my top 3 teams, Dolphins, Jets, Bills, they're all
they're
one
all
win.
Contenders.
I have them 1 win apart. So I mean, Bills could win.
I mean, you got the Dolphins the same as the Bills.
Yeah, as long as the Patriots they'll be in 4th.
Yeah, no doubt. It's good to see.
Yeah. You can change the top 3 around. I'll buy it. Just leave the Patriots in 4th.
No doubt, man. Episode 49, man.